Welcome. It is Tuesday, October the 17th, and this is the Buddy Dill Show. So Monday Night Football was last night. It was actually a really pretty entertaining game between the Cowboys and the Chargers. A lot of mistakes were made. You thought that it seemed like this game was going to be pretty high scoring, and then next thing you know, it kind of slowed down towards the end. But the Cowboys were able to come out on top 20-17. Honestly, I thought Dak Prescott outplayed Justin Herbert. So I know that he has gotten a lot of hate this year and last year with all the interceptions and then the interception videos coming out of training camp this fall. But I don't really get the point of saying that he's just not a good quarterback, because he is. I mean, he makes pretty good decisions most of the time. He is pretty accurate. The thing I don't understand about Dak, and it's not necessarily his fault, I think it's more of the play calling's fault. Last night, it was probably the most that he's run the ball in a couple years, honestly. He was 21 of 30 for 272 yards and a touchdown, but he also had 40 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. That rushing touchdown came on a big play in the first half on a 4th and 1, where they run the read option. And Troy Aikman in the game said it last night. That reminded him a little bit of Dak when he was at Mississippi State with Dan Mullen calling plays. Just because that was what Dak really was at Mississippi State. He threw the ball a little bit, but he was primarily pretty much a runner. He's really athletic. He's big and strong. I don't understand why he doesn't run the ball more. And I don't really know if that's his decision or if it's Mike McCarthy's decision or if it was Kellen Moore's decision in the past. That was an interesting matchup last night, as well as Kellen Moore being the new offensive coordinator for the Chargers. But either way, Dak played solid last night. He did enough to win the game, and defense came in clutch at the end. CeeDee Lamb had a pretty big game. He had 7 catches for 117 yards. Brandon Cooks, who is now with the Cowboys, he's been on a lot of different teams. He is a true veteran in the NFL. Had a big touchdown catch towards the end of the game, and he also had a big third down catch during that same drive. He is, from what everybody seems to say, he is the true professional. He just goes to work, and he's one of those. He's that deep play guy that's always been there. He's still got the speed. He just makes plays, and made 2 big ones last night. Justin Herbert didn't play poor. Like I said, I don't think that he outplayed Dak, but I thought Dak played pretty good. He was 22 of 37 for 227 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he did throw an interception. That interception came from Stephon Gilmore to seal the game with 1 minute and 29 seconds left. The Cowboys got the ball back, were able to take a lead and win the game. One other thing that happened in the game last night. So early in the first half, Dallas was driving and they had the ball inside the red zone. Came to a 4th and 1 play, not the same one where they scored a touchdown on. Came another one. They tried the tush push, like the brotherly shove, as some people call it, when it comes to Philadelphia using it. There's been a lot of talks about people wanting to ban this. I think that the way that the Cowboys ran it last night, the way that almost every other team in the league runs it, is a perfect example as why it shouldn't be banned. Just other teams aren't as good. Everybody gets mad at the Eagles because they're so good at it, but they have everything. They've got it figured out. They have Jason Kelce, who is arguably one of the best, if not the best center in the NFL right now. Jalen Hurts, whose legs are the size of my torso. He squats 600-something pounds, and he's a big guy as well. And you got DeAndre Swift and A.J. Brown behind you pushing. They've got just big guys, and they know how to do it. Their offensive line's really good. They are able to get a bit of a push, and they go and can drive and get a yard or two if they need it. It's not the same case with every other team. Like, a lot of news was made about how the Giants tried it a couple weeks ago and got 2 players injured on it. If you're scared of getting hurt, don't run it. You shouldn't ban a play because one team's really good at it. That just doesn't make any sense to me. But Yeah, no, so the Cowboys won last night, 2017. Dak played well. I think he should run the ball more. I think there should be more design runs for him. I think that he did a lot better job yesterday of using his feet to extend plays, get out of the pocket a little bit, and actually got some pretty good yardage on some runs down the field as well. So I think the Cowboys are right there, kind of teetering on whether or not they're going to be really good or not. Have a chance to make a run or not, we'll see. But we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But first, we're going to get to baseball and the ALCS. Game 2 is last night between the Rangers and the Astros. The Rangers won game 1, 2-0. They came out last night, scored 4 runs in the first inning. They had 4 hits and scored another run on an error by Framber Valdez, the starting pitcher for the Astros, and they were able to get enough. It was not an easy one. Jonah Heim added a solo home run in the second, and that was all the scoring for the Rangers. They scored all their runs in the first and second inning, so they had to play defense from there on out. Luckily, they had Nathan Eovaldi on the mound, who was excellent again. He got the win, so he moved to 3-0. He pitched 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, had 9 strikeouts and only 1 walk. The Astros came all the way back, honestly. They really did. Yordan Alvarez was a huge help for them. I mean, he's just been like that all year, and especially so far in this postseason. It's been nuts. He's hit 6 home runs in the matter of 6 games. I think that tied a record of in all of postseason history. He was 2 for 3 with 2 home runs last night and 2 RBIs. Alex Bregman also added a home run of his own. But they really just couldn't come back after the first inning with Framber Valdez. He only went 2 2/3, took another loss. He goes to 0-2 in the postseason. Gave up 7 hits, 4 earned runs, and he had 6 strikeouts, though, and 1 walk. He did commit that error as well that caused the Rangers to be able to score another run. Jose Leclerc has been dominant for the Rangers, but last night he struggled a little bit. He did come in and get the save. He came in, he had a 4-out save last night. That's his 3rd save of the postseason. He's pitched in every single game the Rangers have played in this postseason, so that is a little bit concerning if he's going to get worn out, if teams are going to start seeing him too much, if they're going to get on him. That happens all the time. He did not give up a hit or a run, but he did give up 2 walks and made it a little bit hairy for the Rangers last night. Altuve flew out to deep left center field and finished the game. But the Rangers take a 2-0 series lead, and they go back to Arlington. If you're the Rangers, this is absolutely all you could have asked for and more. So they've got a great opportunity here to not just finish this series at home, but also just to give themselves a little bit of a break before they're playing either the Phillies or the Diamondbacks. Get everybody a little bit healthy. Let the pitchers rest, because you're going to need those guys down the stretch. So we're going to get to we'll talk about this next game 3 in the ALCS tomorrow, because that game is going to be tomorrow. But first, we're going to get to the NLCS and the Diamondbacks and the Phillies. Phillies came out on fire last night. Kyle Schwarber, first pitch of the game, at the bottom of the first inning, had a leadoff home run, absolutely demolished it. 2 batters later, Bryce Harper hits his own home run in the first inning. And that was, you kind of knew that was pretty much it. The Diamondbacks definitely fought back. Don't get me wrong. This is a young team, and they are not scared of anybody, which is really cool to see. And because it's hard to go in that Philly crowd was going nuts last night again. And you could see that maybe it kind of got them a little bit early, but once they settled in, they were able to make a legit comeback at it. They had opportunities to win this game. But Bryce Harper's just been insanely good this postseason, as he was last postseason as well. He was 2 for 3 last night with a home run, like I said, in the first inning, and he also had 2 RBIs. Trey Turner was good again. He was 2 for 4 with a double, and he scored a run. Zach Wheeler has been dominant since he's pitched this postseason. He got another win. He moved to 2-0 in the postseason. He pitched 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, and had 8 strikeouts. Did not have any walks. Zach Gallen was a starter for the Diamondbacks, and he did take the loss. Didn't pitch bad, just was not. He kind of just gave up a little bit too much early, and just was too much for the Diamondbacks to fight back with. He moves to 2-1 in the postseason. He went 5 innings, gave up 8 hits. The 5 earned runs was enough to take down the Diamondbacks 5-3. Had 4 strikeouts and 2 walks. Gerardo Perdomo for the Diamondbacks. He did hit 1 home run and had 2 RBIs. That was a big moment for the Diamondbacks where they thought maybe they had an opportunity to come back and win this game. Nick Castellanos hit another home run. He's just going crazy right now. He's hit 5 home runs in the last 3 games. Yeah. He hit 2 in each of the last 2 games in the NLDS, and he's now hit 1 in the NLCS. So he's on fire. Craig Kimbrell picks up the save. That is his 3rd in this postseason. And the Phillies take a 1-0 series lead. They also are 5-0 at home this postseason. They haven't lost. They didn't really lose last year. It's going to be hard to win games in Philadelphia if you're some other team a team other than the Phillies. This is going to be tough for anybody else. The Diamondbacks had to learn the hard way. And guess what? The Diamondbacks have to do it again tonight. This game is game 2. Like I said, the Phillies are leading the series 1-0. That game is going to be at 7:07 p.m. Central Time. That is on TBS. Interesting pitching matchup here. You got Merrill Kelly going for the Diamondbacks. He is 1-0 with a 6. He's thrown 6.1 innings, and he has a 0.00 ERA so far in his postseason. He has not given up an earned run. For the Phillies, it's going to be their guy, Aaron Nola. He's 2-0 this postseason, thrown 12 2/3, and he has just a 1.42 ERA. This is going to be a great pitching matchup, but against 2 good offensive teams. I think the Phillies may be a little bit too much, but it is what it is. So other than that, we're going to move on to something different this week. So most Tuesdays, we've done top 10 Tuesdays. This week I'm going to do tier Tuesdays. We're going to have different tiers in both college football and the NFL. It's really going to come down to who do I think can win a championship. In college, it's going to be the national championship and who can actually make a playoff. And in the NFL, it's going to be who can win a Super Bowl. But in the college game, we're going to start off with looking at what teams can make the college football playoff. In Tier 1, we got the undefeated wagons. That's just the teams that are undefeated, that are big name teams, because the name does matter in college football. Don't get me wrong, it really does. The big name teams that are undefeated and haven't lost, and those teams are Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State, Washington, Oklahoma, and Penn State. All of these teams have made a playoff except Penn State, but it's Penn State, so they're going to get the benefit of the doubt. Ohio State won it in 2014. They've been in it a lot. Florida State was also there in 2014. Washington's been in it in 2015 or 16. And Oklahoma's been in it a lot. So these are the teams that have been there, done that are undefeated. In Tier 2, I got the undefeated newbies. There's not many of them. It is North Carolina. North Carolina has not been to a playoff since they've made it into the playoff system, but they're 6-0. They've been playing really well. They got a couple of tests coming up, but they got their opportunities. Tier 3, I got the one-loss big boys, big name teams that have one loss. In that category, you have Texas, Alabama, and Oregon. So those 3 teams right there, they still have opportunities to make it. They got to win out, and probably might need a little bit of help, but if they win out, they can still make it. So Tier 4, we have the one-loss new guys, teams that aren't that big of names and haven't really been there, that still have one loss and still have opportunities to make the college football playoff. In that list, I have Oregon State, Ole Miss, and Utah. Outside chance for these schools, but still a chance nonetheless. In Tier 5, I got the teams that there's still hope for, technically. They're not going to really probably make it, but they still have an opportunity. In that, I got Duke, Tennessee, USC, who's just, like I said, I've said from the beginning, their defense is awful, and it showed the other day. USC, Missouri, and Louisville. Probably not going to make it, these teams, just because they don't have quite the – I mean, don't get me wrong. The Tennessee and USC have the brand recognition, but the talent's not there on both sides of the ball for me to believe that they actually have a chance to do it. So, and in Tier 6, I got the teams that are just they're done. They're still back there, but they're done. And that's Notre Dame, LSU, and Iowa. Iowa can't score enough to do it. LSU has 2 losses. Notre Dame has 2 losses, and they're just not going to do it. Also, an honorable mention on this list is an undefeated team that has no chance, and that is going to be Air Force, who is 6-0. Appreciate them for defending our country, but they are not going to be able to make it into the college football playoff just because they're not going to do it. So let's do it in the NFL now. This is all just about Super Bowl. It's about who can win the Super Bowl. In Tier 1, you got the Super Bowl contenders. You got the Dolphins, the Chiefs, the 49ers, the Eagles, and the Bills. All those teams can make it. All those teams can win the Super Bowl, much less. They can do it. Now, they have the talent. I feel like that they can make a run in the playoffs, and they can make some noise happen. In Tier 2, I got the teams that have a chance. The Lions, who are just on that level, they were almost in the Super Bowl contenders just because it's just the Lions. I loved watching this team. This team's a lot of fun to watch, but I just don't believe in them. Not quite yet. Also, I have the Dallas Cowboys. Talent-wise, they're really good, but they just keep making too many mistakes and keep getting in their own way. I also have the Jaguars and the Bengals. The Bengals started out slow, but they've got the talent to do it. They've done it. They've made it 2 years ago. They were a game away last year. They can do it. Tier 3, I have those teams that might be making the playoffs. Yeah, it's going to be close, but they have a chance to make the playoffs. I got the Ravens, the Colts, the Chargers, the Seahawks, the Buccaneers, and the Jets. Maybe. They are showing me a little bit of something. That defense is insanely good. Zach Wilson is getting more comfortable as the weeks goes on, and then seeing Aaron Rodgers on the field throwing around before the game on Sunday just makes you be like, maybe this freak is going to actually do it and actually be able to come back. And if he comes back in the playoffs, or if they're close to the playoffs, they may actually have a chance to make a run, and we'll see what happens. But I think the Jets might possibly do it. And then Tier 4 is going to be everybody else. It's just literally everybody else. I don't believe in any of them to be able to win a Super Bowl. Maybe one or two of them might slip in and make a playoff, but that's about it. So yeah, that's going to cover it for us for today. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my tiers. What teams should have been in different ones? What teams shouldn't have been in there? So other than that, that's going to be it for us today. And we will see you tomorrow to get you ready. I'll get you recaps on the Phillies and Diamondbacks game tonight, and also get you ready for the Astros and Rangers game 3. A lot of baseball going on right now. There is college football on tonight. I'm not 100% sure which games there are, but there is college football on tonight, which is always fun for Tuesday night college football. And then also, Buddy's bets will return tomorrow. Not the greatest weeks, the first 2 weeks, but we're going to try to turn it around where it's not too far below 500, but we got opportunities to make up for it this week. So, other than that, I appreciate y'all for joining in, and I will see y'all tomorrow.